So, with Godzilla vs. Kong soon to be upon us in a matter of days here in the US, because yes, it has been released in other countries first, and has been making a lot of buzz in terms of box office. Which, in a weird way, it's kind of weird in a weird way. The pandemic helped this movie. Now, let me explain by saying I'm still not over the Godzilla fans who kept saying release the movie, people are going to die anyway. Fuck you guys. But the thing that in a weird way the pandemic and the constant delays of this movie helped this film in the sense that people were buzzing about this movie when, if the pandemic had never happened, this movie would have flown under the radar and probably bombed after or at least gotten some form of success, or monetary success, or broke even. So the fact that we have this huge big budget movie that no one would have initially cared about, because that's just kind of what Hollywood is now, the fact that this movie is now like being hyped up even more because we haven't really had a big bombastic movie to make us want to go back to theaters. Everything either got delayed or postponed or delayed indefinitely. Whereas Godzilla vs. Kong is like, nope, it's coming. You can watch it on IMAX, you can watch it out in the theater, or you can come watch it on HBO Max. And yeah, this is like the first movie that's really had like the big build up. Yeah, you could still go stream it on HBO Max, but like this is giving them bigger option to be like, hey, this is going to be what brings people back to cinemas. And some people who have been cooped up in over a year and haven't gone to the movies in over a year are kind of wanting this. So in a weird way, Godzilla vs. Kong almost feels like it's going to save cinema. I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but it feels like people are building up as the savior of cinema. Though, if you look at Japanese movie theaters, it wouldn't be the first time Godzilla has saved movie theaters. Anyway, so let's talk about the future of Godzilla vs. Kong, because the numbers already overseas are bigger than what they were for King of the Monsters, apparently. So the big question is what do you do post Godzilla vs. Kong? Now, in an interview with Adam Wingard, he said that there is no post-credits scene. There was supposed to be one, but they're like, screw it, let's just put it in the movie. So there is no, I want to just state right now, if you're going to sit around, if you're going to the theater, or just sit at home watching through all the credits, you're not going to get anything, because there is no post-credit scene. It's just nothing. It's really just nothing. It's really just nothing, because it was like, hey, this is the movie that we've been building to for the past 3 films. So the question now remains, because, as I've always said, for most movies, money talks. That's the big thing with this, is that money talks and bullshit walks. So we are now left with, assuming after how well Godzilla's done and how well it's projected to be well here in the US, you have to think that Warner Brothers, who initially were just going to shit-can the whole MonsterVerse after Godzilla vs. Kong, because that was apparently the initial idea, was to just get rid of the movie. I mean, just get the movie out there and be done, wash their hands of the MonsterVerse, because of, King of the Monsters was good, but it didn't make any money. It didn't do as well as they wanted it to. So they were like, we'll just get Godzilla vs. Kong out there and then forget the whole process. But now, with this movie being championed as the next big film, for the first big film of 2021, a lot of people are thinking, like, you'd have to think that Warner Brothers is like, all right, let's keep going with this. Let's keep going with this. So this is the video we're going to be doing today, is how do you top, how do you go further past Godzilla vs. Kong? Like, how does the MonsterVerse continue with Godzilla vs. Kong? Well, the first thing they're going to have to do is, negotiate with Toho. Because again, we don't know where the rights are with Godzilla and the other characters. So it would stand to reason that we are going to have to, there's going to be probably more talks with Toho. And Toho, as we are well aware, can be kind of greedy. So Toho is going to be... Toho might want more money, and that might be a problem for Warner Brothers, because they might not want to spend the money, to keep the rights. But on the other hand, they do own the rights to this version of Kong, and there's a good chance, and I've said this before, is that what might happen is that they'll just retire Godzilla from the MonsterVerse and simply just kind of have Kong be the center of the MonsterVerse now. No matter what happens at the end of the film, it's just like, hey, we'll just continue forward because we have the rights to Kong. We can keep doing stuff. We can keep doing. We can still keep use Kong. And the other thing is, they have a ton of monsters. Now, yes, I did see that they did show on the Warner Brothers site on YouTube that the intro title shows that Godzilla defeated the other Titans, but it didn't say that he killed them. He did defeat them, but defeat can usually mean to kill. So the big thing is, that's the other thing, is that with Warner Brothers, you have all these other ones like Scylla and Behemoth and Methuselah. You have all these other monsters out there that you could do solo movies on. Or hell, you could just bring back other I am more for bringing back these kaiju that showed up in King of the Monsters, like Behemoth and Methuselah and all these others, and do giant monster movies on them, because, yeah, I think it's safe to say that it never hurts to have new giant monsters to really, enjoy and fawn over. There's no, it never hurts to have those monsters show up. But knowing, how your classic theater, your regular Godzilla fans go, they're like, we want this monster or that monster, we don't need new monsters, we just want old monsters, because that's what we are, we just want to bathe in nostalgia monsters. Yeah. So, but that's the thing, is that they could negotiate with Toho to use other monsters. Or hell, they could go to Katakawa and say like, hey, you're not using Gamera for anything, can you let us use the rights for a legendary version of Gamera, since you're not. I guarantee you, if they went to Katakawa and asked for that, I'm pretty sure Katakawa, people think Katakawa is not doing well, but they just because they're not making Gamera films, which I think is really stupid. Katakawa's doing just fine. In fact, you could make the argument right now that Katakawa is doing better than Toho. Just because they're not making giant monster movies doesn't mean they're dead. I hate to break it to you. So Katakawa probably would be like, if they can't negotiate anything with Toho, or they keep negotiations with Toho, and maybe they'll go to Katakawa saying, hey, can we use Gamera? So I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying that's a possibility. There's a possibility that they may go, hey, we got Kong, we got Godzilla. Let's go for the trifecta. Let's do it. Let's get the trifecta. Let's get Gamera up in here and have a universe where Godzilla, Kong, and Gamera all exist in the same universe. So, and then do monster films around that. So there is I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying I guarantee you, someone at Warner Brothers who is in charge of the MonsterVerse probably brought up the idea of, hey, what if we brought back Gamera? What if we brought back Gamera and put him in the MonsterVerse? I guarantee you that may have been brought up, but since the MonsterVerse wasn't doing so well, but after the numbers they've been getting, and probably the numbers they will get come in a few days in the US release, they'll probably bring back discussions for what to do with the MonsterVerse, because outside of DC, which is out all over the place, the MonsterVerse so far has only got 3 films. So aside from a few in-continuity comics that don't really explain much, they're just there to make more money for merchandising. The big thing you have to look at is that there's a good chance that they're going to bring back discussions of, hey, let's keep the MonsterVerse going because this made us a lot of money. Godzilla vs. Kong made us a lot of money, so what's the next step? And how do you top Godzilla vs. Kong? You blew your load on your 4th film. But you could make this like your Avengers style film, and now, or Justice League film, since we're going by Warner Brothers. So now the next course of action would be get more monsters. Either make your own monsters, or make new monsters, or do movies on the monsters you've already had. It's a win-win situation, really. It's really a very win-win situation that we're looking at here. And I can promise you that I guarantee you that one of those discussions is, well, we don't want to make other monsters, or the monsters we do have are just that interesting. There is a good chance they may go to Katakawa going, hey, it's a nice Gamera you got there. It'd be a shame if someone just took the licensing, if you gave us the licensing and you get the money. So, yeah. I mean, because really, what has Katakawa been doing with Gamera lately? Oh, just doing another box set for the Gamera films instead of making anything new. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying that's the course of action that they'll take, but what I am saying is I guarantee you that's more than likely been a discussion for everyone at Warner Brothers. I guarantee you that that's one of the possible, that may be that could be a course of action they take in these films. Now, again, I have to stress that this opens the door of, like, what could you do? Like, one of the courses of action is, like, you did Godzilla vs. Kong. That's, like I said, you blew your load on your fourth film of this, or like that was your Batman v Superman in a way. So what do you do now? You do a Justice League film. You do your Justice League of Kaiju films. And how to do that? I would say do a remake of Destroy All Monsters. That would be a possible one, or Destroy All Monsters is the more popular one, so that would probably be like the next film they would talk about, where they would have all the kaiju out. But they kind of already did Destroy All Monsters in King of the Monsters, with Ghidorah telling all the kaiju to destroy the world. So, you would have to really, like, change up the storyline, or make a new story that doesn't have to be Destroy All Monsters. I'm just saying, again, your typical G-fan and typical moviegoer would go, we should do Destroy All Monsters. I can't tell you how many times I've looked through the comments for Godzilla vs. Kong trailers or whatnot. Every time I see Godzilla vs. Kong, there's always like, we should do Destroya next. And I was like, or here's the thought, we do something new. We do something new and, original with these characters, or even bring in original characters. Because I would like to fawn over a new monster instead of, like, the same three over and over again. Like, it doesn't hurt to have new monsters out there. So, anyway. And also, I'm just going to say it right now, I think we should just canonize Rampage into the MonsterVerse. I'm just saying, like, like Rampage I know is based off of a video game, but, like, it feels so different from the video game that you could, in theory, make this version of Rampage canonized into the MonsterVerse. Same with the Meg. As much as I hate the Meg, you could make the argument that you could canonize the Meg into the MonsterVerse. So, yeah, the Meg and Rampage. I like my friend Matt Denny and the man who created Atomic Rex. We actually had this conversation once. It was like unofficially, like we have the unofficial headcanon that the Meg and Rampage are in the MonsterVerse. So why not just make it canon, right? Like, why not just go all out and make it canon? Am I right? Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think should be the next step for Warner Brothers after post Godzilla vs. Kong? Do you guys want to see new monsters? Do you guys want to see them try to go for licensing for other kaiju from Toho, like Gigan and Destroya and all them? Or do you want to see, like, new monsters entirely? And just comment below, let me know. Once again, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.